Good morning, Laguna Woods. Thanks for tuning in to Inspiration for Today. I love it. I love it when we have an audience. Thanks for coming down, you guys. It's so awesome. And you're in for a treat because I have with me Chris Meyer. Chris was with us yesterday, and we were talking about our cruise that we're going to do as a church group. Actually, even broader, probably as a Laguna Woods group. To Alaska, but next August. But I wanted to invite you back because I think you've probably traveled around the world as much as any of us have, and at least from a tourist point of view. And so I'm going to use your same verse because I hope you're memorizing it, Laguna Woods, because it's an awesome one. So in Psalm 66 at verse 5, it's written, "Look at God's wonders, they'll take your breath away." And I love that verse because honestly, we're talking about travel, but this is one of the things I do almost every day. I walk around my neighborhood and look at flowers. And I don't understand why they grow or why do they have color or anything else. I think it's just because the Lord wants to give me a treat. And He made me a flower. That's how I take it anyway. But that's one of the neat things about traveling also. And Chris, what's your role currently in life,
Oh, well,
work-wise?
we own the Expedia Cruise Ship Centers franchise in Oak Brook Village in Laguna Hills over by Woody's Diner and Trader Joe's. So our role in life is really to open up the world to people and help them see those wonders in a better way than they might otherwise.
And Chris is a longtime Saddleback member, and
Easter 1989.
Really?
Trabuco Hills High School.
I didn't. Our first visit was in 1985, but we didn't join until 2000. But no one needs that information. But I love that you've been around that. That's huge. Well, one of the blessings that you do for us and for many others, of course, is to allow them to see what God has made around the world. And it is different everywhere you go. We'd go in this group to Alaska, but every part of the world is different. What are some of your favorites?
Well, one of our favorite trips ever was, and it's hard to say what the favorite is
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we love so many of them, was when we went down to French Polynesia, to Tahiti, Bora Bora, and the Cook Islands.
Is that
And
right?
it's just spectacular.
So let's say, where is that in relationship to, well, we all kind of know Australia, New Zealand.
It's between Hawaii and Australia and New Zealand,
Oh.
almost equidistant.
Oh.
So it's an 8.5-hour flight from LA to get down there.
So then you can fly to Tahiti and then do a boat, or?
Yeah, what we did was we flew to Tahiti and we did an 11-day cruise through French Polynesia and the Cook Islands on a ship called the Paul Gauguin, and it's a small ship. It holds only about 280 people.
Really?
But what it does is it's able to anchor inside the lagoon in Bora Bora. So if you've heard of the overwater bungalows, you essentially for 2 days are sitting in a floating overwater bungalow in the middle of the lagoon in Bora Bora, where they have a dock off the back and you can check out a stand-up paddleboard or a kayak and just take off
Is
and
that
cruise around.
right?
Yeah, so
Can you snorkel and stuff, or does it?
yes.
Do people do that?
Oh yeah, we went snorkeling. We had this really crazy Tahitian guide taking us snorkeling with his long hair and beads, and he was a character.
Well, I don't know. Everyone dreams of those bungalows over the water, but I've often thought, yeah, I'd do that, but you still have to find food to eat, and you have to. I mean, it seems like it'd be so quiet. I might hear what's in the other. I would love this. So they fed you still
Right.
and
Well, I mean,
everything.
the thing about the overwater bungalows, yeah, French Polynesia is quite expensive, but the cruise is a much more economical way to go, we think, than the bungalow. Also, if you're stuck in the same bungalow for 2 weeks, it's not as fun as going to a different island every other day and seeing a whole nother place. At least for us, it is. And I mean, people love those, but we feel like it's more economical to do it by ship.
Weren't you saying though that you could also come from Los Angeles. It's a long cruise, but could you do that?
A couple times a year, they have a 28-day LA, Hawaii, French Polynesia, back to LA. So if you had a month, and the
And
longer these go, the per diem cost sort of it reduces, even though the gross cost increases. If you had a month, and people do, there's 2 of those a year that they do.
what's the cruise line for that? Do you know?
Both Princess and Holland America do that
Oh.
one. Holland America
Well,
out of San Diego.
someday, Chris, when I get older, that's on my. I want to do that. I want to do that. I've gone back and forth from Hawaii several times, on, including in my first time on that was in 1957, if you can imagine. My grandmother took me on a ship to and from Hawaii at Christmas time, and I fell in love with cruising ever since.
Hmm.
It's awesome. That was at no extra charge, Laguna Woods. Kind of no extra interest, probably, but but anyway. No, I love talking travel with you. There's other places. I mean, I know that you've done the river cruising, and that's mostly in Europe, is it not?
Yeah, it's mostly in
Well,
Europe.
actually, is there one? There's a.
They have one on the Nile. They have the Mekong. They have one in China. They even have one in southern Africa on the Zambezi River. But most of them are in Europe, and that's where it really gained its popularity. My
Yeah.
wife and I, we have a little travel group we go with. We had 22 of us do a Danube-Rhine River cruise a couple of years ago. And next year, we've got about 26 so far going on the Rhine. So mostly the same group. We loved it so much the first time. So we very much enjoyed that as a way to see old Europe
Yeah.
without doing the way I've done it before, like rent a car and pay tolls and get lost. And,
Yeah,
my
I've
wife
done-
and I always get in an argument with each other and the GPS system. So,
Well, I've done that way the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And but I had no choice because my daughter actually lived in Bonn on the Rhine, so we watched all the cruise ships go by, and I think that looks pretty good.
Well, one of the interesting things about it is when you think about the rivers were the original highways. So the towns you're stopping at in the river are sort of the towns that you would want to go to really see old Europe anyway, because that was the original highway. There's one
Yeah.
of them, Passau, Germany, which is at the confluence of the Inn and the Danube rivers on a little triangle, is a really charming, beautiful town. And when
Yeah.
the guy who did our walking guide said almost all our tourists are here that come on river cruises. Nobody else really knows about us.
That's
So
it,
it's
yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
interesting. So you get to see a place like that sort of without the hordes of tourists.
And
around.
invariably, the castles are built up on the mountain overlooking the river.
And of course, the castles were toll booths, right? So the whole idea of a castle on those rivers is
Huh.
they would block the river in front of them and make people pay a toll to pass that guy's little duchy or
Yeah.
principality, and then they'd let you through when you paid your toll. So the castle would be like the big fancy toll booth.
I did not know
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Well, it's all very pretty, and it is amazing how the Lord has put those rivers and all over the world, really, as you've mentioned them, and that, and including U.S. I know there's Mississippi River.
And the Columbia
Cruises.
up in
Oh, is there?
in between Oregon and Washington.
Yeah, yeah.
So they do them there, and then they do them on the Great Lakes and up through the St. Lawrence Seaway between the
that'd be
U.S. and
pretty.
Canada as well. So they're starting. The U.S. is starting to come on a little more. It started
Yeah.
in Europe. It started on the Rhine and the Danube, which are sort of the fairy tale destinations,
Yeah.
right? Sort of like where
Huh.
you think back to Grimm's fairy tales and those types of things, and those are the images you get there. But yeah.
Well, Chris, I've really enjoyed these last couple of days, and thanks for helping me with that Alaska cruise too. That's going to be a blast, and so we'll work together on that for a year because it's not till next August. But anyway, I appreciate you so much, and
Thank you.
so thanks for coming
It's
on.
a thrill to be
It
on
is
with you.
it's a great service. It doesn't cost any more to use a travel agent.
No,
either.
actually, it costs less.
Oh, okay. Well, good.
So yeah.
Gotta go. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Got another great show for you tomorrow.